Before this video starts, I want to make it very clear that I'm not here to hate on Lil Skies whatsoever. I was a fan and still am a fan of his older music, and there's even a handful of songs from what he's released recently that I do enjoy. Stuff like Dead Broke, Ice Water with Trippy, and How You Feel are probably some of my favorite newer Skies songs. But the purpose of this video is to not hate on Skies whatsoever. It's just for me to give my opinion on why I think he should have waited a little bit longer to make his return. I believe that there are a couple reasons to why Skies making his return when he did wasn't the best timing. Now, if you ask me, I believe that if Skies would have never taken that break that he took after Shelby released, I don't think he would even be in the situation that he's in right now. But because that did happen and you can't really change that, I do want to look at what would have happened if Skies would have waited a little bit longer to make his return and kind of built the hype up for it more. I think one of the main issues with Skies was the fact that back when he started blowing up, he was really one of, if not the first artist to really kind of implement that melodic sound into your rap songs, and he had a cool voice, he could do some cool flows, and he had the help and the push from Lyrical Lemonade and Cole Bennett right behind him, and he had Landon Cube, Cuff Boys. There was a lot going for Skies when he very first started blowing up, and I kind of look at it in the same exact situation as I do Mosey. A lot of people like to look at Mosey and say that he's mid or obviously just an average artist or average rapper, which yeah, you can definitely say that now, but I think if you were really following hip hop and rap and looking at the transition from when we got to 2016 to 2017 rap, Skies and Mosey were really kind of one of the first doing what they were doing, and that's why they got into the positions that they did. So obviously nowadays we're going to look at those kinds of artists and kind of maybe joke or clown on the fact that they might not be the most talented artists that we've seen, but back then they really were. I feel like the rap game and just like the whole genre itself has gotten really saturated over the years just because everybody can make music now, everybody can release music on SoundCloud, so it's kind of just gotten to that point where it is a little bit harder to find that true talent, but it obviously still does happen. But because Skies was in this position, at least in my opinion, where he's not necessarily one of the most talented artists, but he's definitely still got talent, don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to discredit him whatsoever. He obviously made a career for himself, and I still respect that, and I still listen to some of Skies' music every now and then, but I think because Skies is looked at now as just a more generic rapper, at least that's kind of the impression that I get from what people think about Skies. I think that his best bet would have been to really play on the nostalgia factor rather than just coming back when he did. Now, obviously, Skies fans wanted him to come back, and they were really happy when he did, and obviously, I don't even think Skies really should have taken the break. I do respect that he did it because he obviously had a kid and everything, and I'm not really going to speak too much on that. That's obviously his life to do what he wants to do, but it kind of put him in a really unfortunate situation when he did come back because obviously Skies did not sell that well when he did come back. Now, this could really play a factor in the fact that there was just no really hype single to go up to it. There was no hit single for the album. And quite honestly, I think one of the biggest things that I saw was people just didn't know Skies was dropping. There was really little to no promotion whatsoever for the album. Unless you really followed rap closely and you were a fan of Skies himself, you probably wouldn't have known that he was dropping an album when he did. And I think this is pretty evident in the sales being around 15,000 units in its first week. But I do want to give credit to Skies. The first week's sales might not have been the best, but if you look at his Spotify numbers for Unbothered and even the deluxe, they're not really bad at all. Having My Way has over 100 million streams, and there's a handful of songs with over 10 million or close to 10 million streams on Spotify alone. So I definitely don't think that the album has flopped over time. It's definitely accumulated quite a lot in streams. But kind of looking at rap nowadays, if you don't have an album that has good first week sales, then you're obviously called mid, or that you fell off or it flopped or whatever the terminology might be. That's just how it is nowadays. And because Skies obviously didn't sell well first week, even if over time the album did accumulate streams, that led to him getting clowned all the time on social media, and he even took a little bit of a break again after his return just because of all the hate, and I think he even acknowledged it at one point. But it just kind of sucks to see Skies in this situation. But I think if he would have played more on the nostalgic fact after he left, that would have been his best bet to kind of maybe not get back to where he was, but at least be set up and doing better than what he is right now. Because Skies' music isn't anything that at least I feel like you would look at now and think it's too original or too unique to itself, I think that the nostalgia factor would have been his best bet to play. I mean, if he just would have waited a couple more years when we're not really hearing a lot of melodic rap, or maybe whenever the new trends take over and we're not hearing as much artists that sound like Skies or Mosey or whatever artist you want to compare it to, I think that that would have been his perfect time to strike, especially with the landing cube feature. I think that the best bet for Skies would have been to most likely wait a couple more years until his sound or him himself was wanted back in the rap game. That would have been his time to strike with like a Lyrical Lemonade video or something like that, and I feel like that really would have set Skies up to at least the point where everyone knew he was back and he was possibly going to be dropping more music. That's personally just what I would have done looking back at it from this point, but obviously that's just kind of my thoughts, and you can't really say this back in the moment when he did make his return in like 2020 or 2021, because we obviously didn't know how everything was going to play out like we do now. But these are just my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think. If you did enjoy, please make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.